advanced care plan's a really valuable tool. On any day in hospitals and people's homes or in nursing homes, we're confronted with situations where important decisions need to be made for people who cannot participate in that decision-making process. And an advanced care plan enables their values and preferences to be considered at such a time.
Mine's smooth? Yeah. Hang on a minute, we'll get a bucket, we'll get the paintbrushes in the bucket so that...
Well, I'm Elizabeth, and my diagnosis is lung cancer. I think to be able to live very openly, in the sense of being able to communicate how I'm feeling, both physically and particularly emotionally. Relationships are enormously important now. And naturally I want everything to be very harmonious and loving. So any hiccups that there are need to be looked at and worked on and sorted out. I think that's the most important thing. I would like to have a clearer mind. I think that's a bit of a concern at the moment because of morphine and one or two other drugs. I know that my mind is muzzy. I'm not clear, and I do like to be very crisp and clear. But then that's got to be balanced again, having some degree of comfort and being able to breathe properly and just function. So it's always a balancing act.
The advanced care planning has been the process of just being together and talking openly about things. Certain things we've documented, but not everything, but just getting a complete feel for what Mum wants and what she will continue to want or need. And that's not just necessarily with me, that's with her palliative care team as well, and her husband too. So including everybody in that process is all part of the plan.
Well, I think that the hardest role is Robert's as my husband. It's always difficult for the nearest and dearest, of course, but Robert himself hasn't been well, so I was his sole carer about 6 months ago when he had a stroke, and he's still not 100% well. So it's not easy for him. He's got short-term memory loss. He can, with shopping and cooking and things like that, he does wonderfully. But I have to recognise that nearer the end, he may not be able to cope.
Just start at this end. Start at this end.
Being part of the process, I will just know what she wants. I mean, obviously having things set out in place has been great, because that does take the responsibility off me if I'm the one that's around at that stage. We've talked about the specifics of the very end, washing her and, that sort of thing, which I would also consider an honour, I would love to be here for, if I can still be, and just if the timing all works out like that. But just being here on a daily basis and knowing what she wants and understanding what is important to her, which is, just being surrounded by love, and the family that she has. We're all here, and everything's open. There's really very little left unsaid, which is a huge comfort as well. You don't want to get to a situation where you're too choked up or fearful or frightened to say things, because it's just a waste of time, really.
There's also a feeling that I'm very aware that I won't be in this state of mind forever, that my strength will start to run out. And so I feel the reason I'm doing all this now is I'd like to get it all arranged and then, tie it up in a nice box with ribbon and put it to one side and leave it. And then when I'm not able to contribute anymore or make any reasonable suggestions, that it will all have been done and things will just go ahead without too much aggro for other people.
Can I have this brush?
You want to wash that off?
Mum passed away 9 days ago in the hospice, and that was where she chose to die in the end. Because Mum communicated what she wanted with her advanced care plan, and that was the case all the way through, we were able to give her exactly what she asked for and exactly what she wanted, and that was the family, the healthcare professionals, and just all her friends, everyone around her. We all knew what she wanted, and that was very fulfilling for us to be able to manage to do that. I think having had this experience now, and seeing how much responsibility it takes off the carers and it takes off the family, it is a very positive thing to do, and I have every intention of fulfilling that myself. Yes, it's a fantastic idea.
Elizabeth's story is a good example of how an advanced care plan can be useful at the end of life. However, it's not just about end-of-life care, and it's not just about the elderly. We see people of all ages in circumstances when they're unable to participate in medical decision-making for themselves. An advanced care plan is one of the best ways we have of making sure your voice is heard under these circumstances.